George Sanchez, West Region, gym is Northwest Iron, AC Washington. Got into CrossFit when I was in the Army, something I just kind of started doing with one of my company commanders. Got tired of being in the gym with like the chest and back, like bodybuilding kind of regime, and wanted something to get in and out of the gym quick, get a quick workout in, and now it's turned into my entire life. I don't know, I've always been pretty competitive. I didn't really, like when I was in the military, I was training for I was always training for something. Like 2012, I was training for being like the NCO of the year for my battalion, and I competed all the way up to the, to our command basically level. And then after that was over, like I didn't really have anything but work. So after I started CrossFit, I realized I was okay at it, and it was something I could do, and there was like local competitions, and it was cool to like go into a local box and like go against other people. Like I never really had that since I was like in football in high school. So yeah, I mean, just being a little bit competitive and I just had a lot of fun with it, so.
It's been great working with George. I think he brings a fire that is pretty invigorating as a coach. He has this raw energy about him and just loves life, right? He loves to train, he loves to go hard. He is one of the most dedicated athletes that I know. If I program something, if we program something for him, he hits it 10 out of 10 times, right? He's not, he's not second guessing things, he's trusting the process, which makes, my job easier. At Brute, it makes it, very predictable in terms of like, okay, he's gonna do X, Y, and Z these days. And you can see just over the past couple years, I mean, qualified for the games, so it's pretty cool.
So I mean, last year I went team to regionals, and I think it's because I wanted to just get the regional experience on a team, and I really wanted to, I qualified as an individual, but I wanted to take the team because I felt almost like it was my duty to other people who would have been on the team or who were on the team with me to get that same experience. It was like our first year qualifying a team with our affiliate, and it's almost, I don't know, it just felt like it was the right thing to do, to not just go on my own and to take 6 instead of 1 at regionals. So like up until then, I was still pretty serious with my training, and my goal was always to make it to the CrossFit Games. But after we went and competed last year, we finished 10th overall, which was pretty good. I was not satisfied with it. I was happy that we finished where we did, but I wasn't, like, it just left a bad taste in my mouth. Like I wanted to be on the podium more than anything. And so the pressure increased, I think. I was a lot harder on myself throughout this year than I was the year before, because before, like, I knew that I just had to not let my team down. And like, that's easy for me to not want to let someone else down. But it's really easy for me to like let myself down and like kind of brush it off. So this whole year I've learned that, I've learned more times than not that when I let myself down, it hurts. It's starting to hurt more when I let myself down, because before I could kind of like brush it off. So like, I mean, like when we talk about physical stuff, my strength numbers haven't changed much. My gymnastics has gotten better. My endurance has gotten better throughout the year, but like my mindset has changed about how to approach my training and competition completely. Before it was just like, just go perform, and now it's like perform, but like really leave everything out that you possibly can. Like leave no question, leave no doubt. Like that I don't ever want to say, oh, I should have done this. Like if I should have done it, then I could have done it, if that makes sense. Reversing back to when I graduated from high school, when I joined the military, everything was super structured. And it's kind of just like something that goes back, I think, to my childhood. Like my dad always told me like not to half-ass anything I was doing, because I'd have to redo it. So taking that kind of mindset forward, like don't half-ass anything you do. So like I joined the military, and I wanted to be the best at my job. I wanted to outperform those that were higher ranking than me and who were better than me. Getting out of the military and starting like my own affiliate and trying to be competitive in CrossFit, there's not just, You can't just be like decent at one thing and have like one giant strength. And I wouldn't consider myself really good at any one thing. So, I mean, I understand the importance of every piece of CrossFit, every piece of fitness, if you will, are all big pieces of the puzzle. And there's no other way to be the best, to be the top 1% of the 1% in the sport without making sure that I put myself fully in everything I need to do. All the gymnastics, all the endurance, all the strength training. It needs to be done like in its entirety until I can't do it anymore. So I know I've put everything in it, and that way I get the most out of it.
George is really good at differentiating what is outside of his control, such as a judge giving him a no rep and how his competitors are doing. He's also able to identify what's inside of his control, like his nutrition, like his preparation, like his warm-ups, like his own training, his own attitude. And he focuses all of his attention, time, and energy on the things that are inside of his control. And that's why I think we've seen him improve so quickly over the last 2 years.
So like to understand the entire weekend a little bit, just briefly, like the first workout, I've put all this pressure on myself all this time, and I came out like too hot, I think, on that first workout. And afterwards I was a mess, like threw up, I was just like dizzy, like couldn't function until like 20 minutes before event 2. And I think that took even more toll on me the next day. And I didn't really find my groove until the final day. Like event 5, the muscle ups and overhead squats, I finally like stuck to my plan and like knew like this is what I need to do to be successful here, and that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna push this just a little bit. But going into the final event, we kind of had a game plan of like, ease into this, like go hard, harder, and then hardest, right? Ramp up into it was the plan A, but plan B was go 100%, leave everything you possibly can. If you fail, then you can say you did everything you could, or if it works, then we'll just see where the cards fall. Because like going into that event, I knew I could win it, but I didn't know that it would be what was gonna get me to the games.
So I don't scream, right? And I'm not a very loud person, I'm an introvert. And I was screaming at the last event at him. And I remember we talked in the warm-up area about his strategy, pacing and everything. And he was gonna come out a little conservative on the air assault and then speed up through the workout. Well, you can go back and look at him on that air assault. He basically tore the handles off that thing, and he came off, and I was like, oh no. I thought he had like really screwed up the pacing. And especially there was a moment in the box jumps where he kind of like paused for a split second, and I thought that was gonna be like it. And he just kept pushing through. And so, I mean, nerve-wracking is an understatement.
With that fifth and final qualifying spot, with 449 points,
I think that if anybody could do what was needed to be done, it was George, hands down. Like what he has inside him is beautiful, right? His desire, like just that raw grit, just to do work, is unmatched.
I felt like I failed like day 1 and 2. I felt like I just let myself down, like a year of training, and yeah, like leaving on day 2, I felt like I let myself down completely. And then so going in the last day, I was like, whatever I have in me right now needs to be just out there, and I gotta just go. And I think there's no other option. So yeah, I definitely felt that when I got to the sandbag cleans in event 6, because it didn't want to move. My legs were filled with sand, and like nothing was happening. I was literally like, I had to scream, like just raw emotion, just had to just yell to get myself to go. It's gonna be like nothing I've ever experienced, and I like that it's a new venue for everybody, so it's not like we're going to Carson where everyone's been and are safe in their happy zone or whatever, their safe place. So Madison's nobody's safe place, and yeah, like everyone, there might be someone who's a little stronger than I am, or someone who can do 1 more muscle up or 2 more muscle ups than me. But in the scheme of things, in any event, like none of that shit matters. It really doesn't. Like, for me to push 1 or 2 reps or to get 10 or 15 more pounds on a lift or move a barbell a little bit faster or get back to a barbell faster is the difference between saying I can and I will. Like, that's the only difference. So while I feel like the way the media makes things seem, you know, like everyone has their favorites, and that's fine and dandy, but none of that really matters to me.
He doesn't know, right? He doesn't know he's not supposed to win. That's George, right? He doesn't know that first time at regionals you're not supposed to go to the games, right? He doesn't know that first time to the games you're not supposed to podium, right? And that's a good thing.
I'm there to make it to the podium. Like, there's no other. Why else go? Like, to go in any competition, like, you don't go to just. I don't go to compete to have fun or whatever. You know, I go to win. What else? What else are you doing there? Like, I'm not showing up to say, like, oh, I got a T-shirt, I'm at the games. That doesn't matter.